Welcome back, everybody. A local producer and director, Lauren Lindberg, is here to share her personal story as part of her fundraising mission for her movie called The Fall of the Phoenix, a documentary about brain injury. She joins us in the studio now. And Lauren, hello.
Hi.
This is, something really personal to you, and it increasingly became more personal as you started to dive into it. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so Fall of the Phoenix is a magical realism documentary about brain injury. And the genesis of this was 6 years ago during the pandemic. My younger sister had 12 back-to-back concussions.
Wow.
She was a Division I athlete. She had to medically retire. And it was a very confusing time in our family's life trying to navigate what brain injury looked like and manifested as in the day-to-day. And so I, as an older sister, was very curious about how I could be a bigger support to her. And then at the same time, my cousin up in Alaska had a TBI from a swimming accident. And my aunt was like, Lauren, you're a documentarian, you have to make a film about this. And I didn't quite know how to even start, but I began with researching and talking to people and attending webinars, and it was COVID, so all of these people were available to talk with me. And as I heard different stories, I began to connect the dots of my own past. I'd been a cheerleader in high school. I was a flyer, one of the ones they throw up in the air, and I'd hit the ground with my head many, many times. And then right before college, I also had a traumatic brain injury, but they were never categorized or labeled as traumatic brain injuries. They were misdiagnosed as mental health issues, and I was medicated, and for a long time I thought that I was just crazy or impaired. But suddenly I had a newfound awareness of what actually happened to me, and that lit a fire under me, how many other people are knowingly or unknowingly experiencing the effects of traumatic brain injury.
That is really huge, and the fact that it came closer and closer to you the more you looked into it. Fascinating stuff. What can viewers expect in this movie? You use the term magical, you use the term realism. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, so it's been 6 years in the making, meaning I've followed 4 incredible characters, not including myself, although I'm in it, but 4 incredible characters from fall, so the hardest parts of their journey, to rise. And I wanted to do something special. So I've produced over 50 documentaries, and so I wanted to break the genre and really create an experience where this is an invisible injury, right? It's inside of our brains. You can't always see it. So how do we bring that experience to life in a way that is interesting, visceral, and can really make people feel, but also create hope? Because ultimately this is a story about hope, that anyone can overcome internal battles that they're facing and rise into the phoenix, the mythological symbol of rising into empowerment.
I was going to say being reborn.
Yeah.
There are some really big symbols here that we're talking about. Who would be a good audience for this movie, do you think?
Anybody that's had a brain injury, anybody that's had a concussion, anybody that's ever been a caregiver for somebody with this injury, but it's not just for people with brain injury. It's for anybody that has ever had to navigate a confusing or invisible challenge such as mental health or just life. Mm-hmm. It's a universal story about overcoming internal or external challenges and rising and stepping into your most empowered version of self.
Mm-hmm. And it's really difficult to do, I think, to take something that is, for all intents and purposes, invisible and put it out there. And so this is a really cool thing that you're doing. You say you're 75% of the way shot.
Yeah.
And you're hoping to finish by this year. So we're on a big fundraising kick right now. Talk to me about that.
So this is the first time I've ever opened it up for the public to contribute. And this is a really exciting time. I just launched my first ever crowdfunder on Seed&Spark, which is a filmmaking fundraising platform. I have 1 day left. It ends tomorrow at 11:11 a.m. CST. We're already 115% at our goal, but if we can raise $40,000, we finish the magical realism and we're in post-production, which is where all of the components of the film come together. So it's a really exciting time. I'm opening up for the Austin community to get involved and be a part of the movement.
Mm-hmm. And you've already had some great donations. Really grateful for everybody who's helped out, but we can still go a little bit further. And you said every dollar that goes over, it really helps in that post-production process.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. It's where the film comes together and it's where the magical realism, so everything that makes this a documentary like never before is where that value comes in.
And you said that, you thought that this was going to be too hard as a subject to tackle, but a friend told you you're actually already doing the hardest part.
Yes, I was nervous about asking for this level of support, and she was like, just by showing up and putting this mission out there, you're doing the hardest thing. And brain injury is something that impacts 1 in 4 people, and that's likely
a lot of people.
Underreported.
Wow.
Yeah, and it intersects with all of these societal challenges like houselessness, mental health, suicide, incarceration, depression, domestic violence. And so this is a huge undertaking. And so I wanted the story to be inviting, educational, inspirational, and hopeful.
Mm-hmm. So you're putting yourself out there and the community is responding really positively. Okay, I would like to know how we can help. I know we've got a QR code that we can show everybody at home.
Yeah, so as I said, we've got 1 day left. My heart is exploding with gratitude. I've just felt overwhelmed with support in the best of ways. If anyone wants to be a part of the campaign, they can contribute for the next however many hours till 11:11 tomorrow, but it doesn't end there. I also have a tax-deductible donation platform, followthephoenix.com. You can learn more there, and you can get involved or reach out at any time.
Anything else you'd like audiences to know before we let you go?
If anybody is watching this that has ever had a brain injury or had someone they love with a brain injury, I just want you to know that this is really a tool that we can start to show the world that brain injury is complex, but it's not the end of your story. There is so much life to live after, and there is hope.
Really well spoken. Okay, Lauren, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Seed&Spark.com is where Lauren's campaign is taking place. You can help out now by going online and making a pledge to contribute.